to one more episode of the Enoch generation, a generation that walks with God. Today in our studios we have with us Pastor Joshua PRAVEEN from Chennai, India, and he's going to share with us his walk with the Lord. So on to Pastor Joshua PRAVEEN. Hello Pastor and welcome to our studios.
Hello Auntie.
It's nice to have you with us. We'd like to hear your story about your walk with God. When exactly and where exactly did this walk begin?
Okay, if I need to talk about my walk with God, it didn't start when I was young, as many would say, but I was born and brought up in a Christian family, into a ministerial family.
So your parents were in ministry?
Yes, were in ministry. But I had nothing to do with the walk with God. I used to go to the church, but I was not anywhere involved with the personal relationship with God. I was involved with every activity of the church, every part of the church. But personally, I never walked because it was more like church fun.
So you were involved with the church and its activities, but not with the Lord?
Yes, totally.
Okay.
Because
that sounds good.
Yeah, totally. I was caught up with a lot of church stuffs. But personally, it's like my school and my church would be so different. I had to do something in school differently and something at church differently so that they would be accepting me at church.
Okay.
So I had two different lives. It was going good.
It was more like a Jekyll and Hyde character where you were, a different person in school and a different person at church.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Why none of your friends overlapped in church and school, is it?
I guess that's the grace of God that did happen.
You've really been blessed. Otherwise they would have let the cat out of the bag long ago.
Seriously.
So nobody in church knew what your life was at school?
Not much.
Okay.
So that
you didn't have your teachers also there at school?
Nobody.
Wow.
It was so different.
You're really blessed.
So maybe like at the end of my schooling, I was into a lot of things. So I came through that. I was more into I was the most notorious character at home. If my mom says left, I will always be right.
Okay.
Just to do the wrong. It was just a attitude at that point of time. And I was just
you
so
just
lost.
had to prove it to her. I wouldn't have your way. It would only be my way.
Yeah,
is it?
true. It was just like that. And apparently it went on for a span because I kind of felt those days I had this identity crisis.
Okay.
Since I didn't know who is Jesus and what he has done for me and all that, I was totally lost and I was always trying for acceptance of the world.
Okay.
For the world to accept me and I wanted to be the star wherever I was. So I was trying every possible way. If you want me to become white like a wall, I will be white like a wall. If you want me to dark as a pitch dark place, I would be.
So you didn't bother whether it was the positive effect or the negative effect?
No, not at all. As far as you are accepted in that particular place that you stand, that's how my life was going because I really didn't know the love of Jesus. So life was going, but the beauty is over a span of time I understood I was so void because everybody says, right, there's a God void in us. No matter what you do, no matter how big you become and all that, there's always a God void.
Yes.
So, in fact, I would say I did all the right things at the wrong time.
Okay.
So I started working when I was very young. I started having a lot of money even before to know how to spend it. In fact,
you didn't know how to handle the money you had?
Not at all. But by God's grace, was not into drugs or girls, or not into that because I've seen my mom and dad handling all through their lives, being with prostitutes, helping them, to rehabilitating them, drug addicts and all that. So I never had a heart for that. But the problem is we used to spend lavishly, go out just to prove that I'm the big. I am the boss. Yeah, I'm the boss of where I am. So I used to just waste my money, waste my resources and everything. And at the end of the month, I'll be left alone because there's no money, no friends. Life was going like that and all that.
But when you came to the end of the month and you were left alone, even then you didn't have the realization as what exactly you were doing. The next month you started on with the same thing?
No, because it's all about proving my point, right? It was I wanted to be the star there, so it was always going out searching for other people's acceptance and all that. So that was like a cat trying to win a race with a rat. So it's just
Vicious
round and
cycle.
round.
Okay.
It's just a vicious cycle that was not ending. It was going round and round. But I guess there was this point of time I understood. Everything in my life just didn't mean anything, no sense towards it. So it was just going, and that particular season, everybody was also, was telling me, because my brother by then came into ministry, established his own ministry, and he was doing really well. So all the people that would see me it's like my brother would be the fairest person for them, and I would be the darkest person in life. So I belong to the devil, and he belongs to the angel. It used to be like that. So everybody,
Such a contrast.
yeah, because I used to have long hair, streaked with orange color streaks.
Wow.
Imagine, that's how my life was. So to see
I'm
my
just
brother,
trying to imagine you that way.
true, to see my brother and me, it was right opposites.
Okay.
So people were, budging me to say, why don't you, come into the Lord and start serving, being in ministry and all that. But it never struck me, because all my life I was running away from God and running away from ministry, because I've seen my mom and dad living a sacrificial life. So never in life, I was not against God, but I never wanted it, because I felt, the more you're close with God and, start serving and all that, you're going to be robbed. That's how I felt.
So you thought that the Lord would really, strip you hollow and leave you with nothing?
Yeah, that's how I felt, because all my life I've heard my mom saying, when you build the kingdom of God, God will build your life. So this is something that I've always heard and grown up. And apparently, so I used to tell my mom, see, listen, I would do anything and everything, but never will I come into ministry.
Okay.
I will earn, I will fund the ministry, or I will just be back and everything, go to the church and do everything, but never ask me to, be into the ministry, because I really felt it's a place where you don't enjoy. So that's how I felt, because I've always seen my mom and dad going out for the people out there in the society, just building their lives, taking their money out, not caring what's happening around and all that. So I was running away from ministry. That's what the point was. So my brother, when he came, I didn't understand. So he started serving God and he started doing all that. And
how did your parents actually react to your lifestyle when they had one son, entering into ministry and the other one totally haywire? How did they, in fact, handle the situation?
The beauty of that is, Auntie, the thing is, my mom as well as my dad, never were they scared about what was happening, because every time my mom and dad used to tell both of us saying, we have actually given both of you to the Lord.
Wow.
And said, and you don't belong to yourself, you belong to God. And all our lives, I've heard my mom saying, even before she was married, she used to ask God, give me 2 boys and I'll give them both for ministry. So that was a prayer all through her life. So I've heard this mom telling me that I've always prayed this, so you'll end up being with the Lord, you'll serve the Lord and all that. And I used to tell my mom, you gave a vow without asking me. So I'm not
I wasn't involved in this vow.
I was not responsible for it, and I'm not for it. But mom will always say, like, you know what, at the end of the day, you will do what God wants you to, not what man. So
she must have been a woman of great faith.
yes, both. My dad and my mom, the best thing is, at least my mom will be harsh on me sometimes when I go bad. But dad, any time that I mess up, I can run back to him. I can talk to him and I can talk all nonsense to him. But he'll still listen, and he'll always show the love of Jesus.
Wow.
Because I've
That's
always...
a father's heart.
True. Maybe those days I didn't understand what is to be a father. But after accepting Jesus, I really felt the love of Jesus through my dad.
Wow.
Because it really understood, because if I need to tell a small thing, when I was doing my schooling, I used to steal money.
Wow.
So
I need to keep my purse carefully now.
those days, I have enough now. Those days I used to steal money in my schooling. But the beauty of my dad was, my mom will always keep her purse safe.
Okay.
Because she knows I'm a naughty guy. But my dad always, what he does is, he knew that I'm stealing, so he will make some change and he'll keep in his pocket. So what I'll do is, I'll go, if there's 100, I'll take 80 and I'll keep 20. And my dad, I really felt my dad was really proud that my son kept 20 for me and took 80 for himself. I'm telling you, not even a day that he has come and asked me, did you steal money?
Oh.
And he let me be like that. But apparently when I grew up, I really understood what my dad was doing actually. He was winning me through love. And that's one of the reasons today me and my dad are best buddies. And in all part of life, I can rely on him.
So because when you read in the Bible about the story of the prodigal son, the father knew very well where he was taking the entire wealth and where he would go and waste it, but he never questioned him. He just gave it to him.
That's right.
But he kept waiting for him to come back.
That's
so
right.
I really see the heart of the Father in your dad, and you must be so blessed to have a father who has the heart of the Lord in him.
Oh yes, oh yes. So one side my dad was so strong and he was loving me unconditionally. Another side my mom was so in strong of faith, saying that my children will not go out of hand and they will be stuck in the presence of God.
That's quite difficult, watching you as you were and yet to pronounce those faith words.
Yeah.
I mean, it really shows, her relationship with God and her walk with God was so strong.
Yes. In fact, when time went by and when I felt that I needed God, and there was this time, I still remember there was this youth camp where the Lord touched me. That was because that was the only few hours that I don't know what happened in my life, but I knew after me getting up from that youth camp, I knew something changed inside out in a fraction of a second. In that hours, I knew God had to do something out of me. A lot of addiction broke out of my life. Not that I was addicted to drugs or anything. I was addicted to a lot of secular stuffs. There was this time where I could not wake up without listening to secular songs. If I wake up without a secular song in my head, in my ears, I would go mad at whoever I see. I was so bad into it, and it was kind of a thing that was driving away. I was emotionally led into that. My whole day was striving by what the world was saying and all that. But after that encounter that I had with God, I really felt that the Lord started changing me. And when I came to my brother after that, and I told my brother that I wanted to serve God. And next second, my brother said, you know what, this is what I was waiting for. Wow. He said, come.
So you had a family that's been very supportive, who've been, praying and who've been waiting for you to turn around and meet the Lord.
Oh yes, oh yes. And it didn't happen by force.
What exactly happened? What was that encounter that you had with the Lord?
The first encounter was so blank. I don't know. If I really need to say, no words, nothing. All that I knew, I was just blank. I was knocked down in the presence of God. After 2 hours, I got up. I heard my friends saying that you were blabbering some things, you were talking, which was not English, which was not Tamil, and I knew that something happened. Those few hours, something happened. But I knew when I got up, I felt that I was free. I felt that liberty in my heart and in myself. And that was the time I knew that something is happening inside me. That's why I went to my brother. I said, I want to do something. I want to know God.
It was something out of the ordinary, out of the natural.
Yes.
It was some supernatural move that you felt.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So I went to my brother. I started helping him in ministry. The moment I said I want to know God, he started putting me into places where I have to clean the places, set the things. So I was trained in a hard school where my basics were put hard. My brother will always be saying, Lord, I will not raise you up in ministry or raise you up in the work of God just because you're my brother. But I'll put you more harder because the Lord should build you up.
But I think when we are faithful in that little that God gives us, He is more than faithful in our lives, and He will make sure, that when he can only then entrust us with greater things. Now today you are a pastor, you are pastoring an entire church, you're traveling internationally. So I think God was preparing you.
Yes, totally.
To be who you are today.
Totally, because I never, actually the thing is I never wanted to be a pastor all my life. Okay. The word pastor is a bad word for me. That's how I felt. But how the Lord works out your heart is a miracle actually. Because when I came into the Lord, all that I wanted to be is just helping things and doing things. But over a point, I really know that in one of the meetings that my brother had, I was praying for God to touch me, I said, because many people are pressurizing me to get into ministry. And I always believed I cannot just walk into anything without God leading me. Even when I didn't hear the voice of God. Those seasons I didn't hear the voice of God. But still I believe you should have a sign from God. That's when you can rely back with God. So I told people, whoever used to push me, saying, if God orders for biryani, He will pay the bill. Because I knew one thing, if I clearly know that this is what God wants me to do, I know He'll take care of me. So
it's just that the way God interacts with each person is very different. So when you have something in your heart, God literally moves with you. So today, viewers, we've been listening to Pastor Joshua PRAVEEN, and he's been telling us his journey till the day he accepted Christ as his personal Savior and he began to minister. So although his beginning was very humble, today God has raised him to be a great pastor who's not ministering just in India or in the city of Chennai, but internationally. So we will continue listening to his walk in our next episode. I know you would have enjoyed this walk, and just like Enoch, God has called each one of us to walk with Him. God bless you all. Have a blessed day. God bless you.
பாதம் கற்களில் இடராமல் உம் கரங்கள்